All right. Welcome to the MediaLab podcast. My name is Sterling Miller. I'm joined by Mike from Be Fresh Gear. Mike, how you doing?
Not bad. How you doing, Sterling?
Oh, I'm doing great. Always having a good day. It's a great day outside too.
Yeah, I mean it's getting a little bad. I mean it's kind of windy, but I mean it's Friday. And,
Yeah, exactly.
It's beer 30 here in a little bit.
Beer 30 is rolling up on that time. So Mike, tell the people about yourself and what Be Fresh Gear is.
So I am Mike. I am a Denver native. I work for Be Fresh Gear. I am one half of the company with Brian McBroom is my business partner. Be Fresh Gear is a retro clothing brand. We're based around the 80s and the 90s type aesthetic. We do sunglasses, fanny packs, hats, windbreakers, pretty much everything. And we're also a custom design firm. And if you're looking for any type of custom projects, we do all that type of stuff. So.
That's sick. And so do you do a lot of the design?
Yeah.
Do you ship some of it?
I'm like, when it comes to like actually putting it into like, digital form.
Right.
That's pretty much my department. I'm kind of, the computer jockey is what they call me, or computer monkey.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much the one, running Adobe Suite. We use Illustrator, Photoshop, After Effects, InDesign. We make all our own catalogs. Stuff like that. So yeah, I'm pretty much, when it comes to the computer and the website, the back end.
Yeah. Well, how do you come up with these designs? Obviously, they're very deeply rooted in sort of 80s nostalgia, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we love loud patterns. We love, things that remind us of like the video games we grew up on, the cartoons we grew up on. And then patterns just come, we do a bunch of different things. Sometimes it's our own unique design that we like, we get inspired from something and we take elements from something, we put it together. We do a lot of artist collabs. So in the last few years, we've worked with, 10 different artists. The shirt I'm wearing right now is actually an artist named Tom Abyss, and he's from England. And we just really liked his aesthetic. We contacted him, and we said, hey, we want you to do us some stuff. And we really like doing that because it keeps it fresh, and we really like,
keeping it fresh.
Exactly.
That's the whole thing.
It's the community,
Yeah.
It's like building, like, you can be inspired by other people, and just I think that's kind of where we like to be today, is creating the community as well as just making a brand.
Yeah. How do you sort of decide on artists to collaborate with?
Sometimes it's just like we have an idea in mind, and we just like we'll look, like we've been doing live events for a lot, and Denver is an artist hub, so we have a ton of people just around in our own community. We try to use those people, like we try to find those people first. But yeah, sometimes it's like we see a sick, piece of graffiti on the wall, and we're like, oh, we want to work with this person.
Yeah.
Or, we just stumble across something on Reddit, or, it's online just scrolling, and we're like, oh, this is dope. Or Instagram.
Yeah.
So it's a bunch of different things. But yeah, it's like this year we're doing something with our buddy Atomic Child, and he's out of Fort Collins, Colorado. And he does a lot of really cool, like landscape inside of like artwork type things. It would be like a picture of a mountain goat, but inside of the mountain goat will have like a giant nature scene. And
Wow.
it's really cool stuff. And
Kind of trippy. Yeah.
yeah. And he's doing great. He's in REI. He's blowing
That's
up.
awesome.
And yeah, so we like, we wanted to collab with him. We see him at all these like pop-up markets and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Well, I think your clothes are awesome. I'll say that. I need to get myself some still, but I've been checking them out.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna look through. So tell me, how did sort of the idea come about to start a company that sort of sold these loud clothes, right? These loud, creative,
Yeah.
80s nostalgic sort of clothes. How did this idea come about?
So it was actually, Brian was in a hip hop group. I've known Brian since high school, and we went to different colleges, and we kind of came back because of hip hop. He was in a hip hop group, and then they kind of broke up, and we joined together and made a new hip hop group. And I DJ, he raps.
That's cool.
So, but it was based like Brian was starting. He made the visor. He prototyped the visor shades.
The visors are super cool.
Yeah.
The visor shades.
So that's kind of like what started. That is the epitome of Be Fresh, is the visor shade. Like that's our number one product. That's our most niche product. It's our most extreme product. And so that was like concepted in like 2012 is when
Okay.
that came about. And, but Brian saw, doing hip hop and doing music, it's really fun, but it's really hard to make money. It's really hard to get your friends out there paying and,
even if you're popular.
exactly.
It's
Especially
hard.
now. I mean, it's getting harder and harder.
And
So
they would make their money most of the times off clothes and
merchandising,
Yeah.
exactly. So his whole concept was, I want to make something that people can buy even if they don't like me as a musician. Like I want to make something that kind of separates, it's just not my name. And that's where like the patterns kind of came from. Like we're not really brand like logo heavy. We're way more like, here's the art. And like sometimes it sucks because people are like, who makes that? And some people are like, I don't remember. Because it's not like, plastered on the chest or anything. You gotta like look at the tag. But like that's how it started out. And we started opening up for lots of the major rap acts coming through town. Like Warren G, Method Man and Redman.
Oh, that's sick.
We did Bone Thugs and Harmony at the Fillmore.
Yeah.
But our merch booth was more popular than, the headliners.
Because it looked like the stuff you're wearing.
Yeah. And it was just like, people just liked it because it was just like, and like I said, even if they were like, oh, this is your guys' stuff. The guy's rapping, like, sweet. But it was kind of based on that. And I mean, hip hop is a huge influence on our brand too, like especially early 90s and 80s hip hop.
Who's some of your favorite artists?
So like a lot of our stuff, like some of our early designs were based off like Tribe Called Quest.
Oh, nice.
I'm a big like Method Man and Redman fan. I also like stuff like A$AP Rock.
A$AP Rock is amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I
I saw him live when he come over. I think was it the Fillmore or no Cervantes? I think he was
Like,
here a couple years ago.
a couple years ago. Yeah.
So great show.
Yeah, I saw him at Cervantes like way back in the day. It was probably 2010 or 11. I got to talk to him afterwards. Super cool dude. But yeah, just as like, you can listen to an A$AP song over and over and over, and it's like, oh, wow, that's something new. But like, I love Biggie. I love Wu-Tang Clan. But yeah, my influences are also, 80s and 70s rock, grunge. I like a lot of electronic music.
Yeah.
But hip hop is where Brian and I kind of came together. And that's something that we both thoroughly enjoy together.
Yeah, and you found a lot of success in it. I mean, you were opening up for some big acts in Denver. Yeah,
I mean,
awesome.
it was really fun, and that's like the merch started blowing up a lot more. So we were like, or the brand Be Fresh was starting to get big. So it was kind of
was that the name of your group? Was it Be Fresh?
It was. We were called Ice Cream. The first,
Ice Cream.
Yeah, Brian's
I like
first.
that.
Yeah, their first group was called High Five.
Okay.
And High Five was, they were a touring act. They were really big and in the Denver area. And then they had a split. And then Brian and another MC, Ray, Question is his name. We got together and kind of formed a group after that. And that's how Brian and I kind of reconnected after lots of years, just like being friends, but kind of had different paths going different ways.
Different friend groups sometimes, never really connecting like that.
Exactly. And then we came back and he's like, oh, I'm looking for a DJ. And I'm like, well, that's what I do. And then, and then, the business was growing and he needed someone to, step in. And that's when I kind of came on and, started taking on a more serious role. And then I quit my day job. So it was just like, all right, we're doing this full time. So
nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And so did you produce sort of the beats as well, or were you sort of DJing just exclusively?
It was kind of both.
Yeah.
Beats, that's another thing. You get beats from different people, stuff like that. And like right now, what we do, we're starting to take music to the brand and Be Fresh. We have a couple music videos out right now.
Nice.
You can check it out on our website, on our homepage actually. But that's kind of where we're taking it now is just and it's not so much hip hop. It's kind of like a little bit of everything.
What's your website? People check it out.
BeFreshGear.com.
BeFreshGear.com.
Yeah.
Nice.
So on the homepage, I think that one of our music videos, it's called it's about the visor shades.
Of course.
It was recorded on a green screen about a year ago. We just put up a green screen in my living room. It was the beginning of the pandemic, and we're like, let's get silly.
So tell me sort of where some of these thoughts start, right, for a design. So you go up to a whiteboard, you're right. We need some new clothes. Where do some points of inspiration you take? I know you said hip hop is a big one.
Yeah, I mean a lot of it is trend prediction. Obviously, things come and go. You want to be current. You want to be I guess not progressive, but we still want to put that retro flair on it. So certain things, one thing we're seeing that's being revived right now is kind of that new tie-dye, like the tie-dye that's a little bit more like saturated and all over the place. And we're starting to see that more. So it's like, all right, how do we incorporate these types of designs like into the more 90s type stuff? So a lot of it's like just, figuring out what's cool, like, or what's going, like what are people going to like, and then just putting a 90s twist on it. Or it's just like, you see like Rocco Modern Life, you see like his shirt and you're just like, we got to make a print like that. Like I've been watching the like Fresh Prince like reruns and I'm just like, dude, that shirt needs to be revived.
Just that random shirt that he was wearing in some episode. You're like, let's do it. Yep, that's it.
And so like a lot of it's just, and like we shop fabric markets. Like Brian kind of, he predicted the floral stuff before. You remember like floral came back like really heavy like 5 years ago, and he was rocking that stuff, and like all his friends were like, dude, what are you wearing flowers for? And he's like, just watch.
Wait.
It's going to be in Target in 4 years. And then like Be Fresh did a lot of floral in the beginning. We still do some of it now, but like, again, once it kind of hits Target, once it kind of hits Walmart, it's dead. At that point, it's like, all right, think of something new. But yeah, like floral.
Why do you think that is too? Why do you think when it hits those sort of mass adoption markets, is it something in the eye of the consumer where they see that trend and now it's sort of mass appeal?
Yeah, I think it's a certain type of person. Like our demographic is, the people that we see and we serve to. Those are the people looking for something. They're looking for the next coolest thing. I mean, they want someone who is actively trying to make something cool, or artistic. And then once it kind of hits that, it kind of loses that romance. It's like, oh, Target. I mean, the mass, like lots of people love it. I mean, people have to wear clothes, but people who are really into fashion are just like, they want that new or that new kind of design. And
yeah, but still that retro feel is huge. It's coming back more and more, I feel like.
Oh yeah. I mean, and it's kind of like, I was born in the 80s, 90s kid, but like the kids my age now are the ones who are making decisions. They're the people who are buyers in these companies. They're the people who are the marketing people in these companies. So they tend to look at their childhood and being like, oh, I want to bring back the retro stuff, because nostalgia is like one of the biggest things that, when it comes to emotion, people are really drawn to.
Yeah,
so
it's big in like the younger generation too, though. You see like 18, 19-year-olds wearing clothing like that, or wearing like the baggy floral stuff with the Janko pants or whatever.
I mean,
Some 19-year-old kids too. Like it's not nostalgic for you. Never went through any of that, but yeah.
And and that's weird. I mean, it's kind of like when I was in high school, people were like they were wearing the Led Zeppelin T-shirts and the Pink Floyd stuff, and it's because our fathers were probably into that stuff. But yeah, targeting, Gen Z is interesting. Like, we just got on TikTok and we're trying TikTok and stuff like that. So
I bet you guys would kill it on TikTok.
That's what we kept being told. But like, it's also like, TikTok is about like having certain different cuts and like the videos, and it's, you got to kind of have to build it's a whole different thing. It's not Instagram. It's very,
but if you hit it big on just like one post on TikTok, you blow up.
Exactly. Yeah. And then it's like, what I've learned is like, figure out what was good about that post and then recreate it. And I have a good idea for what I think our TikTok is going to be. So I'm kind of putting a plan in together right now, and then going to like right now I'm just kind of like putting stuff out there and seeing how people react.
Right.
But again, it's like running Instagram, trying to run Facebook. LinkedIn is also a big tool for us for like white label and custom stuff. So yeah, it gets.
But like you said, Instagram is really the main thing for you guys.
Yeah, for like fashion brands, Instagram, it's visual. And that's kind of what you want. Like Facebook's a powerful tool, but like Facebook's most like important feature is their share button. Mm-hmm. Like you can't share like things on Instagram like you can on Facebook, but Instagram, if you all you need is an awesome picture of, but at the same time, Instagram also now does Snapchat, with the stories.
Instagram has a TikTok thing too now.
Reels.
Too.
Yeah. Reels. So they're kind of incorporating everything into that. And, if you can do Reels and you can do TikTok, it's the same thing. But most people just do a TikTok and then put that as a Reel, and you get the TikTok logo in there. It's funny what TikTok is doing. I mean, it's crazy how embedded they are in other social media platforms now.
And how everyone's just stealing from them, basically.
Exactly. Like you see a Facebook video and it's a TikTok.
Yep.
And TikTok has their brand in that video. Like,
it was same with Vine back in the day too, right?
Yeah, but Vine never branded themselves. Like they never had that little like people because people are lazy and they're not going to redo the video or re-upload it. They're just going to save that video from TikTok, which TikTok lets you do, and then they're just going to upload it on everything else with that TikTok logo in it. And it's like these sneaky bastards. They're very smart.
I was thinking about the memes because you're right. Like half the memes I see nowadays are TikTok videos, and sort of 10 years ago would have been Vine, or not, maybe 5 years ago would have been Vine videos,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, you know, and a lot of memes are pretty much just tweets.
Yeah.
And people, you know, Twitter's the same thing. Twitter also was able to do that, but you know, not on the viral level as, I mean, somewhat of the viral level. Like it's just a couple words and maybe a response from someone else. But
Do you guys mess around on Twitter a lot?
no, not really. I've never been a Twitter person at all.
Yeah, me neither. I can't get into it. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get on it and just scroll. Like usually, I use Twitter if like something crazy's happening.
Right.
Like if like you know,
You want to see some crazy live reactions?
exactly
Or something.
when there's you know if there's breaking news, it's really cool to just kind of see those conversations in real time. And but yeah, that's kind of the only extent we have a Twitter and we just kind of post everything we post on Instagram on Twitter,
Right.
but we don't really respond. And
Well, how big of a reach do you guys have? Are you mostly selling in Colorado, or do you sell it pretty much internationally a ton?
so nationally, we sell nationally, you know, all day. We definitely Australia and Canada are some of our bigger markets.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, any of like you know anyone who like the Australians love to go fast. They love dirt bikes and you know, motor and surf like any big surf communities. You know, any water sport communities. We're really big in Texas, Florida, the South and the West, or sorry, the South and the East Coast. But yeah, I mean it's kind of all over the place.
I could see everyone in Florida wearing those visor shades.
Oh yeah,
They would rock it.
I mean we probably sell most to like the other states are California and Texas, but I think that might just be because how big they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, we still like we started out as a pop-up brand. We never had a storefront. We were just like we'd go to all these lab events because Denver was so saturated with them. And Denver's like the second best market for small businesses in the nation,
Yeah.
behind like Seattle. So it's like if you have a small business and you can, you know, set up shop, like people will come buy your stuff and people love to support small here. So
And do you guys have a physical shop now?
we have a showroom. You can
Okay.
shop by appointment. And it's like in the Baker neighborhood.
Okay.
30 West Bayard. And yeah, we just do like you can come down, shop by appointment. We started doing that last Christmas time because everyone was like, "Hey, I love you guys. I just want to, you know, I need a store to come to because you guys." It was like the week before Christmas, and we were like, "Let's just
Right.
yeah." So we extended our warehouse space and we set up a showroom and we got a couple couches in there and an N64 and a couple
So chill out.
a couple arcade games, you know, mini fridge. And so we're kind of expanding that. But yeah, I mean, having a storefront, right, especially right now, it's just
hard.
It's always has been hard. I mean, but since last year, our e-com has just blown up. So
I imagine that's where you're doing most of your business. Yeah. But
I mean, it's not since last year was the first time our e-com really like live events and wholesale was kind of like our bread and butter.
really.
But then
Then
you
of
know,
course COVID, no live events.
COVID happened, and
Yeah.
we just put all that event money because events cost money to go to and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
So
Lots of money.
Yeah,
You'd be
like,
shocked, like thousands of dollars to set
yes.
up a booth. Yeah.
especially the big ones like Great American Beer Fest. Like that's our best event of the year.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about Great American Beer Fest because
Oh,
it gets crazy. It gets
yeah.
crazy there, or used to, but
Yeah, I mean the last we did it in 2019, and it was just as fun as the first time I went in like 2006. And yeah, I mean it's the beer. I mean it's the Great American Beer. It's the best beer festival there is. I mean in America. I mean I really want to go to Oktoberfest in Germany,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's so many brewers there, and that's kind of how we got started with our white label custom program. Is we were just like awesome. We're in the same town. It's very it's a big buy-in, but we don't have any travel expenses. It's right down the street. We can set up, and we just started selling our gear, and then brewers would come up and be like, "Oh, I freaking love this, man." And we're like, "Can I make this? Can you guys make this for me?" And we're like, "Yeah, why not? Like we can just
Yeah.
design, and put your label on it and do whatever you want." And then we're just kind of like, "All right, like, people don't want to deal with people can buy t-shirts and hats, but we do like stuff that's hard. Like fanny packs aren't like,
Huh.
you know, you can get custom fanny packs from like some of these like print on demand stuff, but
Right.
they're crap. They break. They're cheap. You know, all of our stuff is high quality YKK zippers, and it's totally customizable. If you want a super crazy sublimated print and like a gold metal logo, like we do that. You know,
Fanny packs are coming back. They're coming back in a big way.
oh yeah. I mean they've been back.
I'm behind the trends then,
Oh,
I guess.
yeah.
I saw my friend wearing a fanny pack the other day. I was like, wait. And he was wearing it. He was wearing it on his front.
Oh,
Or no,
really?
he was wearing like a satchel kind of
Yeah,
thing, I think. I was like,
That's how the Europeans wear it.
oh, is it? It's a European thing?
Well,
We're
no,
like
I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, Europeans are always considered like fashion forward to Americans, but yeah, I mean, we like when we started making fanny packs, I think we were doing them like in 2013, 2000,
Wow.
you know, we were kind of like one of the only ones out there doing it.
yeah.
And then like, you know, again, then you started seeing Adidas carrying them, you started seeing JanSport carrying them, and you were like, all right, they're back now. Like these major companies understand it, and now the market's a lot more saturated, but we still see, like when it comes to patterns and designs, we still have one of the greatest selections out there.
Oh, 100%.
But
Stuff you can't find anywhere else.
yeah,
Anywhere else.
And you know, we're trying to expand that line a little bit. We're doing like water resistant fanny packs right now. They're great for skiing. They're just not you can't like jump in the pool with them and swim with them. They're not like submergible.
That's where I see like a good amount of your market too is the skiing snowboard community because they love that retro stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, skiers and snow. Like, you know, that's in our backyard. You know, I grew up doing all that stuff. Still do, and it's like you find those types of. I mean, there's tons of people who do that. There's a lot of people who probably see our stuff and go, "The hell are those guys wearing? Those guys are weird." But you know, the people, and you don't hear those people, so who cares? But the people who do come up to you and are like, "Whoa, bro!" Like
There's way more of those people.
yeah, and that's who I care about. I mean, if someone's gonna, I mean, you know, if someone's talking shit about you, you know, you're doing something right.
There you go.
You know, when you have haters, it's fine because other people, you know, find the group of people you want to represent and just worry about them because who cares about the haters? I mean, there's always going to be haters. So.
Exactly. And that just means you're making enough noise to get some attention.
Exactly. And yeah, I mean, the snow, you know, there's just people like to go, they like to be extreme and they like to, you know, the weekend warrior type gang where it's like, I work hard all week. I just want to go out with my friends, have a good time, meet people. And that's kind of like our stuff is wearable icebreakers.
There you
know?
go.
It's
Wearable
just,
icebreakers.
yeah.
I love that.
especially like if that's your style, you're gonna peacock and find someone who likes that exact same stuff because they're gonna come talk to you. And you know, when I wear this stuff out, like I was at the bar last night and a couple old ladies, they were like in their 50s, but they were just like, that's so awesome. And they just sparked up a conversation with me. And
Well, and so much of modern clothing design is just beige, black, white, and there's not a lot of color, it seems, in sort of the modern.
it's very, you know,
clothing.
very much so. Yeah. Like and we always point that out. That's actually what we use in some of our advertising. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, everything is very, you know, solid print. And I mean, like, yeah, like when it comes to some things, I wear black t-shirts all the time.
For sure.
Like, but you know, when you go out and you're going to a party or you're going to a bar, like, I don't know, fashion's always been a big part of my life. And just having something that, you know, people look at and be like, oh, I know a little bit more about this person because, you know, what they like, and maybe I'll have a conversation with them. But I love wearing band t-shirts too, you know, like I wear a ton of band t-shirts or anything that like I love to support, and people will come up to you and be like, oh, you know, I love that too. So
Yeah, because it's just a good way to find people who enjoy your interests.
exactly, especially
Yeah.
when you're out and about, and and you know, it's representing something, but yeah, sometimes, you know, you're representing like an attitude or like a lifestyle, you know.
Is that how you see clothing? It's sort of this representation of your lifestyle or your personality in a lot of ways.
I see
Yeah.
that, but we also want our clothing to be functional. Like, you know, being like, I love camping, I love backpacking, I love doing all this other stuff. So I also like things that are actually, you know, well made and things that like have a function to it, you know,
Yeah.
or something.
Like that windbreaker, you know, that I throw that on when it's windy if you're taking the dog out, or
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're going to the bar and it's not too cold, you know, it has so much functionality. It's rainy.
Yeah, well, these
Yeah.
actually turn into fanny packs too.
Oh, what?
They stuff in the front and then they turn inside out, and then
That is slick.
yeah. So I mean, and that was kind of like, you know, fanny packs are functional, like the visor shades, like even though it's kind of a novelty, it's still it's a double shade. So like, you know, we still wanted to kind of build our brand around things that are like our vests are reversible. So there's kind of like, a little bit of engineering and everything we kind of like, that's what we kind of strive for. We have sunglasses coming out next week and they all have interchangeable lenses. Just because we got hit up so much for like, hey, I want a pair of clear lenses for work, like I can't work in these shades. So, but yeah, so I see fashion as kind of both. I want something that is like really cool and like, represents me, but I also want something that like is not going to fall apart or is somewhat functional. And I'm not just being fashionable just to be fashionable.
Yeah.
This is actually serving a purpose, if that makes
So if
sense.
someone comes up to you, they're like, I like your jacket. And you're like, yeah, it turns into a fanny pack too. And they're like, whoa.
Oh yeah, that's when we're selling them at live events, people freak out.
Oh
like,
yeah,
"What?
for
What?"
sure.
It's like, yeah, that's where my engineering degree went. And when I went into making jackets that turned into fanny packs.
Did you went to school for engineering?
No, I didn't.
You had me for a second. I believed it.
Yeah, I actually went to school for media production, actually, audio engineering, and stuff like that, and video production, and then went to IT, did a bunch of IT, like systems admin type stuff. And then, yeah, after that, just fell into Be Fresh. And I freelanced a bunch in the audio video space.
Yeah.
But, it was never like enough to like, it's really hard finding a job doing a lot of the stuff you guys are doing right here. So, but yeah, this was like 10 years ago when I graduated college. So, and now it's like, podcasts are so huge. Like there's a lot of, need for media production.
And 10 years ago, it wasn't that long ago, but like digital cameras themselves in 10 years have advanced in a crazy way.
Oh yeah.
It's insane.
The iPhones are insane now. Like it's crazy what you can produce so easily. And that's why you have so many people like bedroom producers who are making hit songs without giant, recording contracts or anything anymore.
Wasn't that Billie Eilish? That was sort of her whole thing. Is that a lot of that album was made just in her bedroom.
Exactly, and like it's like in the 60s and 70s, you had to have a bunch of freaking money to go play in a studio, and now it's like we've kind of removed that obstacle, and I think it's beautiful. I mean, people always complain about there's no good music today, and it's like, what are you talking about? There's so much stuff coming out all the time. Like you
don't know where to look.
You don't know where to look. I mean, it's kind of saturated. I mean, it's always in your face, but like there's so much great stuff being made and there's so much, I mean, obviously we have like an over information problem right now. There's so much information. People don't know what to believe, but there's also just like an influx of art and ideas constantly. And I think that's really cool. And how like we've overcome that with the technology,
Yeah, and the collaborative process of design and artistry is so different now with the internet, right? And just the advancements of communication technology, it's insane.
I mean, a lot of the artists we work with, and I mean, I usually use like Adobe Illustrator to make prints and stuff, or like Photoshop, combination. And I know people who just use Photoshop, but I know a lot of people who just use their iPads.
Yeah.
And they're, Adobe is doing a bunch of stuff to get all their stuff on iPad and stuff like that. And I still like having an actual computer and, a mouse and, but yeah, my style of design, it's not traditional. It's a little bit more of like, grabbing things and compositing and stuff like that. Whereas, some people are just really good, freelance, like they can just hand draw and it's awesome.
Yeah. What makes a good design in your eye?
A good design, I don't know. I think something that like makes me look at it and just be like, I like this, but I don't know why. I mean, it doesn't really remind me of anything. Like it's just, I mean, personally for me, I like lots of, neon and crazy colors but I mean, yeah, that's a deep conversation, when it comes to aesthetics and why things are cool. But I don't know. I think if I find something that it reminds me of something, but I don't know what, or it's just
you
like,
kind of operate on instinct in a lot of ways rather than having the set list of attributes that you're like, yeah, this is what I want this design to look like.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, things that are like super technical. I mean, some of the artists coming out right now are just like, what the hell is like, I mean, one of my favorite artists is like Alex Gray. Like the guy who does a lot of the Tool stuff. Like, and I mean, like I would never wear an Alex Gray shirt because
I would consider it.
I mean,
I would consider it.
I mean, you're right. Like,
it has a place in a time though, for
like,
sure.
I'd look at his artwork and I'm just like, this is freaking. I mean, it's so cool. It's so
mind bending.
Like, exactly. Like, yeah, it's just like I'm gonna go listen to a bunch of Tool and but yeah, it's Yeah, stuff like that. I don't know. Like, and I've just have gained so many different like art perspectives, and I don't know. I like a lot of different stuff. So it's
Yeah.
I think you're right. Just whatever it's instinct. It's like I know that's good because it's me,
Yeah.
and that's art in general though. Like if you like it, who cares what other people like? It's what art's about.
Exactly. It's so subjective.
It is. I mean, the world is subjective. It's it's how you're viewing things. So.
What do you think of? Have you been the whole NFT craze? Have you been sort of keeping your eye on that?
Yeah,
It's been crazy.
that the dude, you know who Beeple is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he
like
kinda
$69 million art piece.
yeah, I mean, he's just a super cool dude. Like, I love his art. His artwork's crazy, but, like, yeah, like, and I have a friend who loves Bitcoin. He's buying, like, trading cards right now and, like but, I mean, I think it's really cool how I mean, I know a little bit about it. I understand it, but, like, I don't people are so crazy right now with crypto and stuff, and they're like, "I need to hop on," and then there's experts who are like, "Don't hop on. Like, what are you doing? Like, you
Yeah.
should have hopped on 5 years ago." Like, but whatever, like, so I don't personally know, like, how I know it might be, important for B Fresh down the road. It might be
Yeah.
important. I mean, artists are making money, but
Exactly. That's my biggest thing is that it's giving an artist a whole new avenue to generate money that like people, he's making more money he ever thought he would in his life.
exactly, yeah. And I mean, like, it's crazy how like tops, like trading cards, are like kind of reinventing their industry, or the sports trading cards, and like my friends buying like Street Fighter NFTs.
What?
And there's like a whole like video game NFT thing now, and I'm just like I can't keep up with it, but I think all that stuff is super awesome, and I hope there's ways that we can keep building that stuff and decentralizing the power, because like yeah, I mean, what ruined the music industry was the music industry. It was like you had
Exactly.
all these giant corporations, and then I mean, it's still not perfect, but
Well, and there's stories of the music industry literally like setting back sort of CD and MP3 technology because they were worried about what it was going to do to their grasp on,
oh
the whole
yeah,
artistry. So
yeah, they can't control
literally
it anymore.
set back the culture of technology.
Yeah, it's like when Napster hit, it was just like, ah, shit, like we're screwed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, everything's digital now. Like, and I mean, they probably saw that coming, but yeah, I mean, that's the same with a lot of these industries. Like that's why you don't. That's why car companies, they want you to buy car accessories. They don't give you everything you want. It's like, all I want is an aux input. Like they're like, nope, you got to have a CD changer. You got to buy all this stuff. But yeah, they want to sell you accessories.
Well, and I think Tesla makes way more money off their insurance program for their cars than they do actually selling the cars.
Really?
Yeah, I think I read that
Yeah.
somewhere.
I mean, and that's kind of like the, I hate to say it, but it sucks. Like the subscription model, like Adobe. Like you can't just buy Photoshop anymore. You
Nope.
rent it. You can never own it. And it's just like, I get it. I get why they do that, but it's just like, man, and John Deere's doing the same thing. Like you can't work on your own tractor anymore.
Really?
They make you, yeah, if you buy a new tractor, like they have, it's all software and stuff now, you know?
Right.
So if you ever want to open it up, you void your warranty. So there's like a huge program, where all these like Euro farmers are like hacking their tractors, and they have this whole giant forum, and like they're people are breaking these systems and saying, hey, F you, John Deere. Like,
Yeah.
we want to be able to work on our tractors. Apple's doing the same thing. Like you can't open your own iPhone anymore and fix it. Like, and yeah, it's crazy. It's that sci-fi stuff that we used to watch in the 80s. It's all coming true.
I've been watching so much Star Trek Next Generation. It's insane.
91.
It's still a great TV show.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Terminator is like the movie where I'm like that. If anything's gonna happen, I'm most afraid of Terminator. Like
Skynet.
I'm most afraid of robots. I think
AI too.
exactly. AI is like, out of anything out there, AI is what like worries me the most.
Yeah.
Just because of like, I mean, just think about 10 years, man. Like you're not going to need delivery drivers anymore. You're not going to need truck drivers. And that's like the biggest job market out there. Like,
Servers.
yeah.
Restaurant servers.
Already, yeah. Airports already are getting rid of staff.
I've seen those videos where people just put on like wristbands and you just walk up to like a counter and it dispenses your drink and orders your food. Like you don't need
or you just have an iPad set up at the table, and and some people love that, but like, we're also doing that with Amazon. We're kind of like decentralizing or just taking the people out of it. But
yeah. And I see what you're saying with the AI aspect too. It is kind of already destroying our society in some ways too. Because I mean, Google uses AI, Amazon uses AI. It tracks our habits and it displays what you want to see.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily show you the news or the facts that you should see or that are true or accurate. It shows you what you want to see.
Yep, it's a giant echo chamber. Yeah, that's exactly right. If you want to believe in something, there's going to be something there that will back you up and will reinforce that idea.
Yep. AI is scary, and that's why design is always great. It'll always be here. Computers not have a good luck doing that.
Yeah, I mean they make my job a lot easier, so
Yeah.
I love them.
Awesome.
Imagine editing back in the day without a computer.
Did you try? Have you
Yeah,
edited
for
film,
reals.
like actual footage?
I have. I used to work at a media company that we just took old forms of media and digitized them.
Yeah.
So I worked with like 8mm, 9mm. We ran it through a camera and shot it and had to paste it, and all that stuff. And I've worked with audio film too. And it's a little bit different, but it's the same process, same thing.
That's what I've heard too, is that it sounds like so, prehistoric almost, but then
Yeah.
when you get to it, a lot of the editing applications that you have now sort of build upon that process that was there already.
Yeah, all your DAWs, like all your video editing programs. Yeah, it's all waveforms and it's all, stuff like that. But yeah,
Like the processes that people were using are tried and true.
Yeah.
It's just taking that and updating into a new software.
yeah, it's destructive now. So it's it's non-destructive now. So you can like do whatever you want to it and be like Control Z, I'm fine. But back then it was like, oh crap, like this is the last, and sometimes we'd get old reels and people were like, can you convert this? And I was like, no, it's soaked in vinegar. Like, how are you storing this? Like, there's no way we can do anything with this. And it sucks, but but yeah, I have worked with all that old stuff before. It's cool, but I like, I don't
be telling your grandkid that, I was touching actual film. You know why they call it film, Sonny? Here's why they call it film.
It's like, oh yeah, it's like, yeah, what, like the picture of the save icon is always like the diskette.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is that? It's like, that's how that's an old USB disk drive pretty much.
The USB drives, what are that? It's all,
Yeah, even those are gone.
beamed to themselves now.
It's all airdrop.
Yep. Yeah. Well, awesome. I think we're gonna head out of here. Mike, mind shouting out sort of where people can find you at, find your clothes at?
Yeah, befreshgear.com. That's probably the best place. All of our stuff's on there. We ship every day, so if you want something and you're in Colorado, it gets to you the next day, and then mostly around the nation it's like 3 to 5 days. But yeah, and you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at befreshgear, and that's just the letter B, fresh gear. And those are all spaced out. Yeah. Sometimes we get BE Fresh Gear.
Yep.
Or just Be Fresh, and that's a juice company out of San Diego. So
it's BE Fresh. I expected there to be a bunch of hornets on my friend. What's going on here?
Yeah, it's a honey depot.
Yeah. Fresh honey.
Fresh honey.
Well, cool, guys. I was joined here by Mike. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me.
Have a good one.
Yep.
Guys,
Bye.
thank you for joining us. Thanks, Mike, for joining us as well. Check him out at befreshgear.com. It'll be in the description below. You can find all of the clothing. It's really awesome gear. He's wearing it right now. Hope you have a good day.